This week, we will experience a big culmination of the direction in which we are going and the direction in which our soul is going. Meaning, you have probably been feeling for a long time, if you really dive deep and if you really trust your intuition, that you are being guided in a certain direction, and whether you choose that direction or not is up to your own free will. But there will be, towards the 27th, 28th, depending on your time zone, the lunar eclipse in Pisces will be revealing to you something that might even feel shocking at the moment. There can be a plot twist. There can be a script to your movie that is outdated by now. And if you have the ability to stay calm in the wild waters, you will be rewarded with an opportunity that you have never even considered. Because only a few days after this lunar eclipse, we have Jupiter in Leo forming a beautiful trine to Saturn in Aries at 13 degrees. So there will be this sensation this week about a shocking event, a plot twist, a suddenly surprising event, whether it's inside of yourself, your own psyche, or actually in the exterior that you did not see coming, stirring the waters and making you very to a level open and vulnerable. And then if you trust in the process, only a few days after, it is almost as if the finger of God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is handing you the most beautiful way of moving forward. And if you can trust that, if you can trust the guidance this week and stay calm when it's needed of you to stay calm, you will be guided in a new direction that can feel scary at first, because change always feels scary, but you have a big gift waiting for you, a door of opportunity waiting for you, a structure gift from Saturn waiting for you if you dare to go in that direction. And I really love the definition of consciousness as being when a choice is being obvious to you. So when you have the awareness that you have a choice, that is consciousness. And if there's a big gift coming in right now, it's a level of consciousness that will bring out all the subconscious choices that has formed your reality up until now. And the opportunity to say, well, where I'm going and where I've been building up until now does no longer align with each other. It's like if you want to step into the new movie, you need to finish that old movie going on, and you need to maybe sometimes with a bit of nostalgia saying, oh, I really love that movie, but also it kind of was too much in the end, and I now have the freedom to write the new one. That is the sensation all of us will be left with at the end of this week. So how you can use astrology right now is to first and foremost check your chart, see where you have anything around Pisces or Virgo around 3, 4, 5 or maybe even 6 degrees. If you have any placements or planets there, those will also be activated in your chart. Then go ahead and look to where Leo and Aries is placed, and if you have anything around 12, 13 or 14 degrees, because that will also give you a clue on which area and what kind of movie will be playing next for you. So that is the astrological weather for this week. I also did already make a video about the trine between Leo, Jupiter in Leo and Saturn in Aries that you might wish to listen to as well. And following my introduction here, you will be able to listen to your rising sign. Also, you can listen for your sun and moon sign afterwards, but the rising will be the most precise one in general forecasts. And don't be discouraged if you see the first 6 signs now, because I will be releasing the last 6 signs tomorrow. So hang in there if that's you, and enjoy. Hello, my Aries Rising. You are one of the big players in this week because the Pisces lunar eclipse will be happening in your 12th house, while also a few days after there will be a trine between Saturn and Leo that will be affecting your 1st and your 5th house. So first and foremost, Aries Rising, there will be something like a combination around your rest. There will be definitely some endings. There could be some connections to your unconscious or something that you have been working on privately. And particularly for Aries Rising, this is big. This is part of a bigger picture that I've seen for many of you folks out there, that for the past decade, there's been such a strong activation of your 12th house. And if you're someone who also have planets in your 12th house, this obviously would be even stronger. But no matter what, you have Pisces in your 12th house, meaning you could be have been someone that for a very long time have been going through, hermit mode or dark night of the soul that have tended to last really long, and you have been completely reconstructing your subconscious mind and working on your intuition, perhaps even working with dreams or past life if that is for an interest of yours. So there is a big part of that time of your life that will be ending with this lunar eclipse in Pisces. It's almost as if there's a part of the way that you used to operate because you had to, that you will be in need to close down. And that is also why you might feel that there's going to be a strong decision that needs to be taken, a decision that you thought you would go in a specific direction, and now you see that that direction is actually not in alignment with the person that you have become now on the other side. And this will stand up very clearly to you because there will be a Virgo Cazimi activate in your 6th house this week, and it will be revealing something very practical that could have to do with your health or about your daily work tasks, routines, how you are using your energy, and you will become extremely clear with this activation of the Virgo energy what needs to finally stop and where do I need to go. You will have the capability to make an extremely detailed and practical and very achievable plan for yourself once you choose to be open to a very unexpected, perhaps, plot twist. There is a possibility, Aries Rising, that you already have an idea what this plot twist is about, but stay open, stay connected to your heart, because there will definitely be something shown to you towards the end of the week. And then a few days after this lunar eclipse, you will have Jupiter in transit of your 5th house that trines Saturn, which is in your 1st house. So there's something about your creative self-expression, how you go about romance and creative projects, how you express yourself is almost as if there's this deep calling to realize, I have been through enough suffering. I know what suffering is because I've been deep down activated so long in my 12th house that I have forgotten what it means to live. Actually, I've most likely never tried to live in the way that the doors now open up to you, Aries Rising. And I would say that there could be a strong urge to take something that you love and decide to actually build your life around it. And you will be extremely ambitious, serious, and have a great deal of luck by doing so. It might be that you need for a while to just withdraw and stay with your heart and say, I've been through so much that I do no longer allow other people's projections, fears, and so forth leak my energy, and I deserve to have the life of my dreams. That could be something strongly about this, and it's very important that you trust it. It's very important that you go with it, Aries Rising, because this is a very real activation of some very important placements in activating, transiting your birth chart. And it could even be that you need to accept that a very specific way of being or connection to an identity that you had for a long time, you might need to consciously say, I can no longer act as that person, because if I do, I will create more of what I already know. So ask yourself this week, what would a person that is having the future that I know that I want, what would they do in this current moment? And start taking your decisions from there, the decisions on your day-to-day life, your routines, the people you allow into your life, the schedules, and the habits that look small first but have this compound effect and actually make up your entire life. You are opening a door, Aries Rising, to a new life completely. So I recommend for you to be ready for it and call in the powers of love, and call in the powers of your heart so that you can be guided in the moment. This will be new territory for you. And so that will be the highlights for sure. And if you want to have another layer to this Aries Rising, you can also listen to your sun and your moon sign as well. And if you wish to work on your natal chart with me, you can check my offerings in the description box below. And I wish you a beautiful week, and I hope to catch you in another video. Bye for now. Hello, Taurus Rising. So the biggest event of this week is undeniably our lunar eclipse coming up on the 27th, 28th of August, depending on your time zone. And this will highlight a very strong activation around your 11th and your 5th house. And on top of it, we have a Saturn, Jupiter trine going on, which will be affecting your 4th and your 12th house. So there seems to be a combination this week around friends and networks, maybe the community that you engage with. It can also be audiences, or it can be a collapsing of what you thought were your future aspiration. So something better can come in for you. If you're someone that works on social media, or you are a content creator of some sort, this can also affect what kind of audience you want to actually reach, what kind of community you wish to build. And then we will see a Virgo Cazimi in your 5th house that will bring some clarity around your own ability to create. It can also be that there are some themes about children, if you have any in your life, or wish to have children, that will be very predominant right now. Or the way that you go about romance, whether it's romance with some special person or just your ability to romanticize your own life and your own existence. There could be definitely themes around, hey, I'm realizing that I haven't had much time to actually enjoy my life. What am I doing? And I would say that don't be surprised if the insights are some that you didn't expect. And I know that as a Taurus rising, this can be a bit unsettling to you, because it will stir up the ground beneath you. But if you manage to stand steadfast and actually look at what is being presented in front of you, you will see that there is something that is much better. There is a much better way. And this is what the lunar eclipse is trying to illuminate for you. And this is such a strong collective energy that you can't not feel it. And the question is, are you capable of feeling okay with sudden shifts? And do you have a grounded enough nervous system so that you can invite in new ideas, new plans, new networks, show up in a different community, maybe take some bold chances around networks, friends, your future vision. Maybe you need to revisit what it is that you want to focus on, because you have outgrown most of it, but your stubbornness might have kept you stuck. And kept you stuck because think about Pisces is also in many ways, and with the moon, going in and stirring up our subconscious mind. And once the subconscious mind is activated, there is something coming to the surface that needs a different way of communication. And then a few days after this eclipse, Jupiter in the 4th is trining Saturn in the 12th house, and there will be some sort of expansion around perhaps your home, the way that you nourish yourself. It could be family matters as well, and also just a sense of how you go about your private life, your private foundation. There could be a few revelations about who do I reveal my innermost important plans to, how do I nourish the seeds in the ground so that they can grow into the plants and the flowers that I wish before someone else can destroy them. Because the interesting thing is, with you having Saturn transiting the 12th house right now, there could be some manifestations regards to people around you that somehow has a tendency to maybe stir up your own subconscious fears, and therefore you give them more agency than what they have to have. And if you can keep your things or your visions a little bit more close, not in a fearful way, but in a I'm gonna take care and nourish my deepest dreams and desires in my private life, and I'm not gonna give them out to someone that can't hold them, or maybe even project fear or jealousy on me. And because Saturn in the 12th right now, Saturn is limitations and boundaries and structure, so there could be this theme about people having a very strong aversion to what you wish to build. Let's say you come up to who you perceive to be some of your best friends, and you say, wow, I'm so excited, I have this new project and I want to build this kind of home, and suddenly they bring out all the tax papers and reasons why that's not possible for you to do. So that's what I mean about this activation. And you are going to be your own best friend, and needing to be your own best friend in this, because when we have a trine, it could also be that you need to confront your own subconscious thoughts about what's possible and what's not possible. And maybe you need to put some boundaries around the things that drains you, even if the person that drains you is yourself. So that's super important for you, Taurus Risings. That will be what's on the horizon for this week. And also, as I always say, you can take a listen to your sun sign and your moon sign as well. I would say particularly for this one, listen to your moon sign too. And if you wish to work on your own natal chart, you can check my information in the description box below and reach out to me if you have any questions. Don't hesitate, and I hope to catch you in another video. Have a wonderful week, and bye for now. Hello Gemini Rising. So the biggest event of this week is undeniably the lunar eclipse in Pisces on the 27th, 28th, depending on your time zone. And this eclipse is going to fall in your 10th house. So there's a combination of revelation you will have around your career life, your reputation. Even if you're someone who's retired, this will still be in regards to your legacy, the way that you're visible in your public life, and also the life direction that you wish to go in. And with Pisces here, there is very much this sense that something, that has been stirring beneath the water in your subconscious mind for a while, and you might even have the sense that you know what it is, but you have not been able to access it. that around this time of the eclipse there will be a sudden shift of fate, event, or revelation, where you are thinking, wow, okay, I really cannot go about my public life like this anymore. There will even be, for some Gemini risings, the knowing that if you work in a toxic work environment, you are so determined to get out of there that you're like, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to give my notice tomorrow. I'm not going to stick with it anymore. There is this sense of a point of no return. And then at the same time, with this strong Virgo Cazimi activating your 4th house, there's, you put your attention towards your home life, your family, and the foundations beneath your public life, where you could have this sense that, you might have neglected sides of yourself that needs a level of nurturing in order to make the right decisions for your public life. There could also be a strong feeling of needing to communicate something in regards to your family history, particularly on your maternal line. There could be a feeling of needing to connect to your ancestors, to the roots, to the place that you feel connected to. You feel that your roots are from there. And I would highly recommend for you that if you feel lost in your work life, you light a candle around this Pisces moon, and you make a little, this is not about being religious, this is just a prayer to the universe. So you make a little prayer to the universe and say, dear universe, please show me the way, please show me the nurture I need, please show me the soul family I need to meet, please show me the place that I need to live in order to really start shining in my public life and going in the directions that my soul wants me to go in. Because for you, Gemini rising, there could have been a certain level of not being able to see what is actually going on, the direction you have been going into. Also maybe a feeling that you're being drained quite a lot. It could be again like a toxic work environment, or that you just give too much attention or time, or being underpaid for something that you know deep down, this is draining me and this is not sustainable, but you have felt that you can't get out of it. And now with this lunar eclipse, it's almost as if the illusion of that is becoming so painfully obvious that you know that you need to take action accordingly to that. And it could also, because it works on the axis, so there could be something that is coming to light in your home environment that you need to address as well. Maybe something with a family member, something unspoken could also happen, or maybe you need to have a talk with your mother figure in your life about something personal and very important to you as well. And then only a few days after this lunar eclipse, you have a strong activation in your 3rd house of creativity, communication, and to a trine in Saturn that is transiting your 11th house. So there is a way of, it's almost as if a few days after this culmination, the answer comes to you. So the answer comes through, writing or communicating, or maybe suddenly you run into the right person or community, and you will be like, okay, that person or that community is actually having the exact answer to my prayers. So be open to that. So it can also be that there is something around turning your voice into a channel for other people, in the sense of maybe you have a deep calling that you need to have a social media platform, or you need to create a community around you that you wish existed, and that will be the stepping stone into your future, into maybe stopping that job that is not serving you right now, and that will just be crystal clear to you. Because whenever we have a trine between Jupiter and Saturn, and in the way that it's happening, it is positive because two forces that operate very differently are suddenly able to communicate. So Jupiter comes in and say, what do you desire? What do you want? What is right for your heart? What do you need to expand on? And then he's going and knocking the door to Saturn and saying, but how can we build this? And Saturn is actually receptive to that vision. And Saturn is the master of boundaries, but also the master of building a strong, sustainable foundation. So this is excellent news for you, Gemini Rising. And if you wish, you can also listen to my separate video about this trine between Jupiter and Saturn, because it's very important to understand what's going on. This is a significant one, and it doesn't happen that often. So yeah, Gemini Rising, if you have anything around 3, 4, 5 degrees as well, pay attention, because any planet or aspect around that could be highly influenced as well throughout this week. And you can choose also, as I always say, to listen to your sun sign and your moon sign as well. I highly recommend the moon sign for this week, I would say. And if you wish to work with me in a private reading, or you have any specific questions, or you're wondering, would it help me right now to get a personal reading, a structure for where I need to go, you can check the description box in how to reach out to me. And I wish you a beautiful week, and I hope to catch you in another video. Bye for now. Welcome, Cancer Rising. So the biggest event for you this week will definitely be the lunar eclipse in Pisces, taking place in your 9th house, in opposition to the sun in the 3rd house. So, well, this eclipse is going to activate something in regards to your higher education, in the sense of maybe your spirituality, your belief system, the thoughts that you feed your mind every single day might be in need for a complete makeover. There could be elements in regards to your worldview. Maybe you realize that you need to travel, or maybe you have traveled too much. Maybe you have been avoiding things by traveling, and now it's time to ask yourself, what is going on? Why am I trying to escape these places escape these places within my own psyche by traveling? Because you will see that is not quite how that works. And it can be a highly emotional time for you, because as you are a fellow water sign to this Pisces moon, so your own sense of mood, your emotional body is highly activated. And there will be this eclipse comes with a culmination of something, a sudden plot twist. A thing that you thought was over or not belonging to you might come back. It could be a realization of, wow, I am really limiting myself by the way that I talk to myself. It could be that there is something about, the way that you were taking in information in your early life, or learning, or a story that you have sort of kept telling yourself from those very early childhood years, that you suddenly realize, wow, I've been building my entire belief system around thinking that I'm a bad reader, I'm not a good learner, whatever it might be, or I'm not a good enough singer, I'm not a this or that. And it will be so crystal clear to you, because the illumination. So naturally, Pisces is connected to the 12th house and the things we can't see, the subconscious mind. And then with the transit over your 9th house, that is in regards to your belief system and your, higher education, spirituality, but also publishing. It could be that you always dreamt of writing a book, but you always told yourself that's impossible for you. That would be crystal clear for you at this moment. Or there's an education you always wished to take, or a certification, and you have sort of like lulled yourself into the belief that this just never gonna happen to you. You know, whatever story you have been telling yourself for a long time, has reached its end point. And it's important that you stay open to the signs of your body, because being a Cancer rising, you will be able to receive a lot of information through your emotions, and your emotions will highly manifest in your physical body. So it's time to trust it. Really pay attention to, do you have any information, or do you always have tension in your shoulders, or is there something with your legs, or whatever that might seem quite random. There might be an emotional charge in that area. And if you stay open to ask your body what is going on here, there's a really high chance that you can take this information and you can say no more. Actually I realized that I have always had all this tension in my body, but I can't allow in new experiences because I have an armor around myself to protect myself, and therefore, I stay in this level of consciousness. There's also something very important about a realization of the choices you've been making. So, how our choices, there are two levels to it. So if you don't know what you're driven by, you don't have a choice to change it, right? So in very short terms, your consciousness in general is the awareness of the choice that you have, the awareness of the choices that you actively make. So this could definitely be a theme for you, and those choices will be very verbal at this point, because there is a Virgo Cazimi in your third house that will bring in this very sharp realization, the ability of Virgo to just cut through everything that is not relevant. It could be that you are writing and you suddenly see, wow, I always write the same thing at the end of the day, I journal over the same. Or you could have a conversation with someone and then you're like, oh, actually now I see myself so clear that I can't go back. Maybe there's an area where you thought you did not have a choice, and suddenly you overhear some random conversation in your neighborhood and you're like, actually, you know what, I do have a choice, because I'm aware that I definitely don't want to go in that direction, and you can point directly to what that direction is. And then, as if that isn't enough, a few days after this maybe perhaps very emotional eclipse, maybe some tears needs to be sweat, maybe something doesn't feel comfortable in your body, but suddenly, like a gift of God coming out of the sky, we have Jupiter in transit on your second house and forming a trine to Saturn in your 10th house, coming in again almost like a finger of God saying, hey, this is the direction you need to go in. And it can very much be about, building an income through, a very, very precise profession that I will be good at this. I want to build a life around this. And now the interesting thing is that Jupiter comes in and say, how big can we make it? Also money-wise, material-wise. And he's talking to Saturn, who is actually agreeing with him because they are in a trine. So it's like Saturn will show you the way in which you need to build in order to get where you want to be, and Jupiter will give you the vision. So there's both a container and there's a direction, and it's going to be grand. So I would trust this, and it can be particularly important in choices around your financial independence or your public standing in the sense of your career, your vocation, your legacy, where you wish to go. So this is quite big for you, Cancer Rising, really. And if you have any, personal placements or planets around the 3, 4, 5 degrees, maybe even 6 degrees, you will be able to, to really see if they fall in your chart in other houses, because they will be relevant as well. And usually I say, do also listen to your sun sign and moon sign, but I would say for you, particularly listen to your moon sign this week as well, because it's such an emotional time for you, but in the most positive way. It's like the snake shredding its skin and, becoming a complete new person after this. And I'm really not trying to make this bigger than it is, but it is like a really big thing, Cancer Rising, right now. And if you can work with those energies, you will see immense transformation being sparked around this period of time. Of course, we don't wake up being like a complete new person from one day to another, but the epiphanies that you have in those moments are the small spark into your future version of you. So start getting excited about if something, has to go, and if some new feel-good emotion and thought comes to you. And if you wish, and if you're curious to work with yourself and your natal chart and the direction you're going in, I have different ways that we can do that. And even if you are considering it, you can send me an email and ask me, would this be possible? And let me know what intentions you have, and we can always talk about it. And you can check all my info in the description box below. And I wish you a beautiful, wild week, Cancer Rising, and I hope to catch you in another video. Bye for now. Hello, Leo Rising. So you are one of the big players in this week, but first you will need to face the lunar eclipse happening in your 8th house in Pisces. So first and foremost, this week is going to perhaps reach a culmination in around subjects such as your shared finances, intimacy. It can be also in depths or in psychological entanglements in general, because Pisces, illuminating this area for you, is part of a bigger picture that has been going on for quite a while for you. Perhaps you have felt that there are elements of, relationships or people around you where there is somewhat a energetic dependency, or you could have this sensation that your energy is being drained from being intertwined with specific other people. You can have a feeling that there's something maybe in regards to inheritance or, entanglements from family members or spouse where, it is not really healthy, and you know this, but you have put it on the back burner. And with this illumination that is going on and this highly charged energy, there could be some interesting twists and turns coming up to the surface right now that will be for your higher good, because at the same time, in regards to your 2nd house, there will be a Virgo Cazimi happening here. So that is on the other side of the axis alongside the sun. So you could become crystal clear on what is needed for me to have a sense of security. How do I build my own self-trust, my self-worth, so that I don't end up in dependencies on other people's perhaps moods or entanglements or sort of like energies that you don't feel aligned with anymore. That could be a theme as well. And it will be crystal clear to you, because the Cazimi of Virgo gives you the opportunity to really cut through things that you couldn't communicate before. So let's say that something, is becoming crystal clear to you, or you have an awareness. Let's say that you have worked on your own psychology for quite a while. Maybe you've gone to therapy or done other things that has been opening doors to your awareness, in a sense that you have now reached a point where you actually have a choice, because you have the choice of awareness. And you will really see that, okay, I didn't expect this to come up to the surface. You can insert whatever is relevant for you, because it can be regards to everything 8th house. So psychology, spouses, taxes, depths of any sorts, intimacy, taboo subjects, or entanglements psychologically or energetically, dependency tendencies. And they will be so crystal clear to you on why they are holding you back in regards to either your self-worth or your personal finances, or your ability to make money for yourself and just for yourself. And whenever you have this awareness and it's coming up, now there is a choice that needs to be made. Because if you know that you are, let's say, in some sort of entanglement or connection with people or family members or a spouse that is draining you and taking away your ability to put energy into what builds structure for you, what brings you money, what brings you a sense of self-worth and material substance. Because obviously you cannot stay intertwined in psychological drama or, things such as being around people that will cause you shame or guilt or constantly feeling maybe not good enough, because that is draining things and that will be so obvious to you. There could also be like some surprises coming up to the surface around those subjects. If you're listening to this right now and you think, I don't think I have anything like that, I would still say very, very good, but be a little bit more open to the fact that this week might open a door to something you were not able to reach before. So it can come with 8th house surprises, which the 8th house is not always very convenient, but it will be helping you on your personal journey towards self-sustainability and values in regards to, what do you give value to, how do you assess your self-worth, how do you put your boundaries, how do you earn your money. And this will be a gift given through the sense of a plot twist or a sense of, wow, I didn't really know that, but I kind of knew it at the same time. And now that is just right in front of me, I can't deny that this has been going on. Then at the same time, just a few days after, we will have Jupiter in trine to Saturn. This will be affecting your 1st house, your sense of self, the I am house, and your 9th house, the house of higher education and travel and expanding your worldview. So now it is almost as if all of that junk from just a few days before, God is bringing you an answer, universe is bringing you an answer that is going to be so high vibe and so fantastic for you that you're like, okay, you just reach your hands up in the sky and say thank you, because you will realize that there's an enormous potential for expanding your sense of self and your identity in regards to, it can be everything that is in regards to travel and your spiritual path, your philosophy, your worldview, how you reach a broader audience, the people that you engage with. If you're someone that creates, maybe say you want to open a travel company and you want to expand on some markets that very few people are operating in, you will be the one who can bring people together and make this happen. But it is all connected to also how you see yourself, how you perceive what you're capable of, because Jupiter is expanding your 1st house and expanding your sense of self-worth again. So there's a bigger version of you that needs a bigger structure for how you can how that can become your reality. So I would say, if I had to sum up all of this, is that maybe, it's going to be a bit uncomfortable, that maybe you realize that I have been too dependent on this thing, or I've been holding myself too much back, or I can clearly see now that, I'm energetically entangled with a version of me that is keeping me from making money. And now, a few days after, you realize, hey, I don't have to be entangled with that anymore, but I need to be open to build a structure that can contain this. As I say in my other video, if you want to listen to that one as well, which is the Jupiter trine Saturn video, it is that you cannot build a castle on the foundation of a tiny house. So let's say you're being now represented with your vision of the castle. Well, then you will need to collaborate with this Saturnian influence in your 9th house, which is expansion and okay, so if I want to build a business that earns this amount of money, what would that take from me? Do I need to hire someone? Do I need to put down a number? Do I need to go through my tax papers and confront them, and confront my own subconscious fear, my limited beliefs around what I'm capable of, and then you just go for it. And of course, it's not like you wake up and you are a complete different person. However, there is this flavor in the air right now that you can't go back. And you're like, oh, okay, now it's finally over. I will proceed with this new vision of myself and start building from there. So usually I say you can also listen for your sun and your moon sign. I would say particularly listen for your moon sign in this week, as we have a lunar eclipse, so this might be the most relevant one for you. And if you do have anything you would like to work on in your personal birth chart or have some guidance on, it can be really helpful to get a reading to understand that deeper as well. And you can check the description box below and see how you get in contact with me. And other than that, I hope to catch you in another video, and I wish you a beautiful week. Bye for now. Hello Virgo Rising. So there's no doubt that the biggest event this week is the lunar eclipse happening in Pisces, and this eclipse will be activating your 7th house of relationships, and then also going on the axis over to Virgo in your 1st house. So there will be perhaps a sudden realization, culmination, or somewhat a surprise in regard to a turning point through a partnership or clients or relationships to significant others, because the 7th house is all about these relationships. It can be also, think about your closest friendships, those that you will sit and have a coffee with one-to-one. If you're someone who has a business or have a business partner, this is also very relevant to you, to your clients, and everything that you choose to devote yourself to long-term might be having a surprising twist and turn, because there is a Mercury Cazimi that will be highly activating your 1st house as well. So you will most likely, maybe without any notice, start to see yourself very differently. And once you have this change of perception of self, it is as if you can't go back. And the world we look at changes when we change ourselves, and that can manifest in different forms, because it really depends on how you have been operating your life up until now. Maybe you have been working deeply on yourself. Maybe you have been looking yourself in the mirror, making an assessment of what is working for me, what doesn't work. And once you see that crystal clearly, there will be this turning point where either the people who are closest to you will go with you, walk the distance, or you will have to split ways. And I know that this might not be comfortable to hear, because we all love the people closest to us and we devote ourselves to them. But there are sometimes situations in life where we need to part ways with someone significant who might have been a big player in our life up until now. And if that's the case for you, I want you to embrace the goodbyes, but also embrace the hellos, because you don't know what will be waiting for you on the other side of this. And the biggest gift that you can give yourself this week is to stay open to what is in front of you, instead of staying with the projections of how you wish it to be. This is definitely a big graduation week on a soul level for you, Virgo Rising, because this strong axis between your 1st and your 7th house is undoubtedly a chance or an invitation to go about life in a different way than maybe you have been building it. And I know that it can be scary at times, because there are things we thought would last forever, and then suddenly we find that this is out of our control. But you don't know the level of gifts that will be able to reach you once you have mastered the test. So I know that this sounds maybe very broad, maybe very ambient, but when we have a lunar eclipse and it's happening in Pisces, which will be, activating your 7th house, there could also be a sense of illusions in regards to relationships here, where you are realizing, wow, it really was an illusion, and I'm hurting myself more by staying in the illusion now than actually culminating or utilizing this energy into dreaming, into manifestation, what it is that I truly want. And the answer will come to you quite clearly only a few days after, because you will have Jupiter transiting your 12th house up until summer next year. But what Jupiter will be doing right now is that he will be trining Saturn in your 8th house. Both of these houses are hard to access from an astrological standpoint. Those are the hidden houses, the houses that many people misunderstand or don't talk about too much. But they are also the houses that are able to completely reconstruct the way that you go around your life, your soul's purpose, if you are brave enough to embrace what they are communicating to you. So there will be an expansion in regards to, your inner personal development, your psychology, maybe your spiritual work on yourself. And then there will be a high maturity possibility around stuff like, taxes, debt, shared resources, the intimacy and level of intimacy that you're capable of. And you will also see very clearly that if there's something that hasn't worked for you in 7th house matters, you might see the pattern coming from your 8th house, where Saturn is transiting, and Saturn is saying, if you want this kind of relationship, if you dream about this future, you need to build a different structure psychologically, because up until you have a different structure, you cannot create differently. So the interesting thing about consciousness is that consciousness is actually just the choices that we make or make subconsciously that is being brought into awareness. And once we have the awareness, we also have the opportunity to make different choices. So having Jupiter and Saturn trining those two houses can be the spark and the beginning of you creating a complete different way of living, especially, the one person you need to make friends with is yourself. So there's a very big difference between living a life where you are your own best friend or your own worst enemy. You can have, I almost want to gift you this visualization, because I think that will really be able to maybe reach you. So imagine this: you are a person that lives in a house in a town that you are familiar with, and there are two versions of you. One version wakes up in the morning, feel that he or she is not good enough, that the world is against them, that there's really heavy, and there's a constant criticism in a voice saying we go to this work because we don't have any other choices, and just bear with it, and this is just how life is, and of course it's raining outside today, and I missed my bus, and I go to work and I hate my boss as well, and all of these things, and you come home, you eat your dinner alone, and you still have this criticizing voice saying this is the life that you built and it's your own fault. Okay, let's say the other version of you still lives in the same house and goes to the same work, but wake up thinking, I'm building something new for myself. I'm so grateful that I woke up today. I'm gonna make the best breakfast to myself that I'm capable of. And I think I missed the bus today because, I avoided an accident, and I actually do really not like my boss. So I'm gonna set firm boundaries and make an escape plan out of here, because I know that I deserve to work in a better work environment, and I will get there. And you have an inner voice cheering on you. Those two stories are very vital for you to get, because the person lives in the same environment, but the response to what is going on is completely different. And you will be starting to see the two versions of you that you can choose from. The version, again, that is your best friend and your worst enemy. And so your biggest gift of the end of August is this awareness coming in that the life that you wish to build and the body and mind you wish to operate from needs a different structure in order to get you where you want to go. Whether it's through, deep inner work, psychology sessions, therapy, eating healthier, dream journaling, past life regressions, anything that works for you, you will have a great deal of luck of knowing exactly what you need to pursue in order to build that inner structure that will get you to where you want to be. So be open for that, Virgo Rising. You will have great clarity, and it's okay to be uncertain, to not have the answer to everything. Let go of your need for control and open your heart to be surprised this week, because that's where the gifts can come in for you, particularly through perhaps an epiphany of what kind of close relationships you want to have in your life. And because we are experiencing a lunar eclipse, usually I say listen to your sun sign and your moon sign as well, but perhaps your moon sign will be the most relevant one for this week. Also, do check your own chart to see if you have any, particular placements, planets around the 3, 4, 5, or 6 degrees, because those will also be highly activated and can give you a further clue into what to expect if you look at it. And furthermore, I want to mention that it's not always easy to work with this alone. So if you have a higher calling and you really feel like you wish to work with your natal chart in a way that is very holistic and creative and open-hearted, you can check what kind of mentorships I have and consultations I have. You can write me an email with your description of what your intentions are that you wish to work on, and we can talk about if I have any offerings or consultations that will be helpful for you. And so that's what I have for you, Virgo Rising. I wish you a wonderful week, and I catch you in another video. Bye for now.